All right, I need you to buckle up because I have so much to catch you up on. It has been a hot minute since I uploaded a YouTube video. The last one that I uploaded was full day of eating in a fat loss phase, and that was the beginning of all of the life shifts that started to happen. So we're gonna hang out, we're gonna get ready together. I have all of my notes of everything that I need to talk about and I need to cover with you. And I'm gonna recap you over the last like 18-ish months and how we ended up here. So right about the time that I uploaded my last vlog, I was at my wit's end with just about everything. We have been pushing so hard in our business for the last like 2-ish years, basically for it to just stay in the same spot. And we were working harder than ever and just like nothing was working, nothing was moving. And I was actually scrolling on Indeed looking at hospital registered dietitian jobs because I was just like, I'm done. I'm ready for life to just be not this anymore. And also I was trying to push for goals in my body after about a year-ish in, maybe like a year and a half of my healing journey, Hashimoto's. I know that I was documenting that as well. And I was going into my first fat loss phase and my body was just not responding. So insert scrolling on Indeed, looking at hospital jobs, and finally Chad and I had a come to Jesus moment where we were crying on the floor of our apartment bedroom and we were just like, how the fuck did we end up here? We don't even like where we're living. We don't even like our business anymore. This is just not fun and completely not the reason that we started this in the first place. So we found this YouTube video that absolutely changed our life. He has you do a perfect day exercise where you get so painstakingly clear on the kind of day that you want to live. And luckily, Chad and I did it as individuals and it was amazing that ours ended up being very, very similar because we were like, all right, we're so unhappy. We need to do this for us and just see what happens from here. And our days ended up being pretty much the same, which was awesome. We wanted to be living by the water, by the beach. We wanted to make a lot of content. We wanted to be coaching some really amazing clients. We set revenue goals, the kind of clothes that we put on our body, literally everything. And we're like, all right, now we have our roadmap. And a big thing was we needed to get honest with how we were treating ourselves. And for me, I had gotten really, really sucked into the idea that if I was quote unquote healing, if I had Hashimoto's, that my body would just never be the way that I wanted it to. It would never look the way that I wanted it to. I was always going to be special in terms of what I could or couldn't do, especially when it came to how much I could do, whether it be work output, training output, the kind of physique that I was able to have. I had so many limiting beliefs in myself and it was really showing up in everything that I was doing. Until finally I just woke up and I was like, this. If I always have to live by being afraid of my body, being afraid of stressing my body out too much, that it wouldn't respond. This is just not the life that I want to live. I don't want to live scared of my potential. I don't want to get to the end of my life and be like, oh, I could have done all of that, but I was too fucking scared of my cortisol going too high and me not being able to manage it. So I finally asked myself, if I can't do all of these things, who am I to have these goals on my vision board? There are plenty of women that have health conditions, that have a hardship that they have to overcome, and they figure out how to do it anyway. So why not me? And that's ultimately where things started to shift. Chad and I not only started making really big business moves, but I also started to overcome some of the health things that I was going through, of learning how to push harder in the gym and not be afraid to train harder, of starting to travel and not worry about how much it was going to mess up my nervous system. We had a ton of really awesome client events because of it, because we started to get really, really on fire for the business that we were building. We shifted core values. We started to find a higher caliber ideal client, and we really loved the clients that we were working with. We were building so much momentum. And then at the end of that year, we had been traveling a ton. We got engaged. It's literally been that long. I haven't updated you guys, but we did get engaged. We were on a family vacation in Europe and we were there while it was my birthday, and Chad proposed in Crete and Greece, and it was just the most magical thing ever, especially to be there with my family and my cousin and one of my sister's friends, and it was just everything that I could have ever asked for, and that only added to the momentum and also had like another level of lock-in for both of us, right? Like now we're doing this as a married couple, as fiancés, and I love the fiancé era, but that just added to the gravity of what we were doing together. Then heading into the following year, we came home and we just kept putting the foot on the gas with the business. And when we had our breaking point, we decided with each other that by the time that our lease is over, we are going to move into a waterfront apartment in Tampa. And we kept searching for apartments and like nothing was popping up. But finally, we had a conversation about like, okay, what is realistic for us? What is our budget? Are we just scared and setting a smaller budget? And honestly, we were, because we had gotten so comfortable with the cost of living in Vegas and gotten to such a scarcity mindset with our lives that we were almost like not even aware of what was available to us. So I was scrolling on Zillow or apartments.com in January, and these apartment buildings popped up. And it was just everything that we wanted, exactly what we wanted, exactly within our budget range. So manifested that one into reality. And in March, we said, sayonara, packed 2 cars up, whatever we could carry. We didn't actually end up moving our stuff because one, it was like a conglomerate of his stuff and my stuff from when we first had our own apartments. And 2, it was gonna be so freaking expensive to move all of that. So we're like, all right, fresh space, fresh energy. We're just going. So we shoved everything that we could in our cars, which is basically like clothes and kitchen appliances and whatever else we could shove in there. And we moved to Tampa. And let me just say that I absolutely freaking love it here. I kind of always knew that I would end up in Florida. I am very much a Florida girl, and it is everything that my heart could ever want. We wake up and we see the sunrise above the water, and then we can see the sunset from our unit as well. And it makes me feel so much more connected to nature, because in Las Vegas, I just felt so disconnected from the world around us because it was just fucking brown everywhere. And this was just everything for my heart, my soul, my nervous system. And then at that same time, we launched a coaching mentorship inside of our business because we really, really love the education component of things when it comes to helping our clients out. We do end up coaching a lot of online coaches, or we had at that point. And we were already coaching a lot of online coaches, and they were asking us questions about their client protocols. And because we had been being coaches for the last 6+ years each, Chad and I really have a heart to want to pour back into coaches and help them build their dream lives and help them build their dream lives and their businesses as well, and also get their clients better results. So we launched a coaching mentorship, which was just a Slack community and group calls, and it was pretty low lift, but it was genuinely just a fun project for us. And that also contributed to the business momentum that we were building on top of. We had one hell of a year last year where we traveled at least 1 time a month. Every single month, business was picking up speed, and we made a commitment to each other that we were not going to let our personal health standards slide. So Chad was in like a athletic phase of his journey, but really it was just like a cop out that he wanted to focus more on the business. And for me, I understand that if I don't take care of my body with all of its needs and all of the health shit that I had just overcome, I was not going to feel good while doing it. So I had no choice but to do everything that I said I was going to do. And I also decided that I was done living in a body that I was so insecure in, because I would essentially get into shape for like a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and I would like my body, and then I would honestly lean in a little bit more towards balance. I would let things start sliding, maybe not do my cardio as much, or I would stay home from the gym because like I was listening to my body and I wasn't actually adhering to my protocols as well as I could. And with a body that's already extra sensitive, that definitely caused backslides in my physique, but ultimately it only reinforced the idea in my head that you're not meant for this. You can never have the physique that you want to. And again, this was the year that I said, fuck that. I'm going to build the business. I'm going to do everything. I'm going to achieve the physique while I do it all. So just fucking watch me. And I did. I hired a coach that I actually worked with in college in 2021. He had helped me begin my gut health journey all the way back then. And I was like, all right, I know that I can trust this relationship, that whenever I go back into bodybuilding again, I am going to feel so supported and confident in my body's ability to do this without breaking like I did last time. And we have just really developed an awesome coaching relationship together, and he's learned my body inside and out. And we started to do some pretty creative stuff, some next level stuff that I hadn't done before, dabbling in like peptides. And he got me to a place where I am not afraid to train hard in the gym again. When I started off, I was pretty fucking terrified of like pushing my body too far over into the other side of being super stressed out or my body getting overstimulated. And it did take some time to really settle down and find my happy place where I could push, where I could make progress without stringing my body out too much. And what I learned is that you're either going to be subconsciously scared and it's going to reinforce your self-belief that you're incapable, or you're going to show up and you're going to do it despite it, and you're going to find creative solutions. So every single time that I would hit a roadblock or not feel super good, or maybe my body just didn't respond as well, instead of seeing it as my life sentence of, oh, I can't do this, and make it mean something about me, I just took it as data. And I was like, okay, what went off here that I can focus on improving next time so that that doesn't continue happening? So I just detached from everything that kept coming up, and it ultimately changed my relationship with my health and my body forever. So while we were traveling at least one time a month, every single month, while we were actively scaling the company, we hit our first 7-figure year last year, which was absolutely amazing. While I was planning 2 weddings, I was still getting into the best shape of my life. I was building muscle, I was losing body fat, and I proved to myself that I can do hard things, and that my diagnosis is not the end of the world. It's not my life sentence. It is simply a variable, and I can either get mad at it or I can decide to work with it. So last year we genuinely did everything that we said we were going to do. We scaled the company to the first 7-figure year. We added 2 more coaches onto our staff, which was amazing. We moved into the dream apartment. We got married once. We got married for the first time in Omaha, Nebraska, so that Chad's dad could be there. Chad's dad isn't able to travel, but we wanted to make sure that while he is still here, we were able to share that with him. So that was really amazing. And then we looked at each other and we're like, all right, what's next? What do we want to do? Where do we want to go? Because we had achieved everything up until that point. And we had this nagging push in the back of our head that ultimately we really, really wanted to continue paying it forward with coaches. And up until that point, we had kept signing coaches. We had found that our favorite, most enjoyable clients that we wanted to work with on our rosters were coaches, because the mission is so much bigger than just them. They understand that they have to show up for not just themselves and their personal goals, but also because if they're not showing up for them, then that does trickle down into their client results and ultimately the clients, the impact that they're able to make on their clients. So we went all in on coaching online coaches, and then the business exploded again. So we made that pivot in October. We got married for the first time in Omaha in November, and the business just kept, and we were just having fun. Just having so much fun doing it, showing up, hitting all of our protocols, making it to the gym, not missing a macro. It was so much fun to just document who we were showing up as and everything that we were accomplishing, because ultimately that's what we want to be able to give to other online coaches, is to show them that you truly can have it all. You don't have to sacrifice your body for your business. You don't have to lock in and work behind your keyboard like a fucking gremlin. You're allowed to go out and live your life, because that's actually what your ideal client needs. And that's exactly what has helped us create a significantly more magnetic brand, is just making it less about just talking about our business and more about the life that we're living and having fun while doing it. In November and December, we hosted our first client one days, where we got clients to come visit us in Tampa. And it was so much more than just training and hanging out with them. We sat down with them and helped them reverse engineer the exact goals that they wanted to achieve, break down their dream lives and the roadmap in order to get there. And it was just so cool to see that, because now we have clients hitting record months in their business, continuing to grow and scale their business, reaching amazing achieving amazing results in their physiques, and even one had like 20K in debt and she's already like a third of the way through it. So the action steps that they got is so fulfilling to see, and they were genuinely so much fun for us. Then in December, Chad took me to Miami for my birthday for the first time. I had never been to Miami and I absolutely love it there. And it's my toxic trait to be like on Zillow or on apartments.com whenever we go somewhere. I'm like, oh, we could definitely live here. Like I could definitely do a high-rise life in Brickell for a year or two. But beside the point, we had an amazing weekend there. And what we really learned how to do this last year is not to turn anything on or off while we travel. So every single trip that we went on, whether we were in Austin for F1 or we went to Miami for my birthday, yeah, we did take some time off, but we learned how to work in different environments. We learned how to still be plugged in and present so that nothing ever felt super overwhelming. We were able to still get things done and still enjoy our lives at the same time, where I feel like before that we weren't really able to do that. We thought that we were either going to lock in and build a business, and that meant like all fun was off, or you have to learn how to integrate all of it. So that's what allowed us to go on all these trips and have all these client events and go to festivals and never feel like we were behind and continue scaling the business and hitting record months. And then in January, we went to the Philippines and got married. It was a super small ceremony, obviously, because it was in Asia and we can't ask everyone to fly over to Asia with us, but it was so beautiful and so amazing, everything that I could have ever asked for. And we spent 3 weeks over there because Chad has family over there. And it was so amazing to get to experience that culture and that side of him, because knowing him, I was aware of it based on what he was telling me and then also what his mom had told me, learning about it through them. But it's so different to go and just get fully immersed in that culture and that lifestyle. And it was genuinely so amazing and such a really cool experience to get to know your spouse on a deeper level than you had known before, because you are marrying them. You think you know every single aspect of them, and then you realize there's even more to learn about them. And it's such a special and intimate experience that I will forever be grateful for. And by the end of the year, I had finally achieved a physique that I genuinely don't have to worry about anymore. My physique takes up little to no mental rent in my brain. It used to be something that I would hyperfixate on and be so insecure about and worry about, okay, am I going to be bloated today? Am I going to lose fat for this? I don't want to be taken, or I don't want photos to be taken of me. And now all that I wanted to do was take photos in my bikini. I was not worried about what I was going to wear to the gym and having to pack outfits of how I felt that day. It is so liberating to finally have a physique that I feel like matches who I already know that I am on the inside. And I had never had that before. I had always felt like there was such a massive incongruence in who I am versus how my physique was represented on the outside, that I knew that I was such a strong, confident, powerful leader, but my physique just did not match the woman that I am. And so to finally feel that, it is so liberating to walk in and have that. It is so liberating to walk into a room and just feel confident, to not think twice about anything that's on my body, to not think twice about what other people are thinking about my body or what I'm going to eat or what I'm going to not eat, just to know that I am who I am, and finally there's a congruency between who I am and how I look. And naturally, when I reached that physique, it was amazing to be in the Philippines and just get to enjoy all of that. I got home and we set some new goals, because ultimately the driver of this entire year was, yes, building our life, getting the life that we wanted to achieve through building our coaching business back and building it better than before. And then after the Philippines, after I got to enjoy my physique for everything that it was, I got to enjoy the trip for everything that it was, I got home and I set some bigger goals. So now my goal is to get freaking jacked. I do ultimately want to step on stage again at some point, and I need more muscle to be able to do it, because I don't want to do it just to do it. I think that it would be amazing to do it just to do it, but if I'm going to do it again, I want to do well. I want to go to nationals, and I would like to go to nationals and be really, really proud of the physique that I put on stage. And in order to do that, I gotta have more muscle mass. And what I have learned over the course of this last year is that if I start with me, if I start with how I show up, how I execute my protocols, keeping the promises that I make to myself, that's ultimately going to be the driver of my success in literally everything that I do. Because when I'm at my 100%, then I can give my 100% to my business, and I feel good when I'm traveling, then I'm setting the example for my clients. My client results have literally never been better because of the standard that I'm holding myself to, but also they see me crushing it, and then they just execute. They just adhere because they see how I show up and how I'm able to do it while I do everything, and they're like, damn, I want that for myself. So it's not even like, oh, hit your protocols, they just get it. So I'm doing something that I've never done before. I've never had a body, a metabolism, a physique that has been able to sustain a muscle building phase without getting too fluffy, without gaining too much fat in the process. But over the course of the last year, I have built such a strong foundation for my body, for my physique, for my metabolism, for my internal health. My labs look better than they ever have before in my entire life. And I know that it's only going to yield even more amazing results going into this next phase. My goal this year is to get freaking jacked. And there's so many things that I'm doing to be able to support that while we're still keeping the foot on the gas in the business. Because even though we accomplished everything that we wanted to last year, Chad and I looked at each other after that and we're like, okay, now what? What do we want? And we just want to keep growing and keep pushing. We keep setting arbitrary goals for ourselves and the business, and we're like, okay, when we get here, then we'll stop, or like when we get here, then we'll just maintain. And it's not pushing because we don't feel like we have done enough or accomplished enough. We just have such a large mission, and we're having so much fun and enjoying the process that we just keep setting bigger and bigger goals for ourselves, because it's just in our nature to want to keep pushing and keep growing. So we are making some really big moves in the business right now. We are making some big moves in our personal goals as well, because we understand that if we keep pushing in one, pushing in the other is ultimately what gives us the drive to want to keep going in the other. And if we show up and we keep the promises that we make to ourselves every single day, then we want to keep going. So this muscle building phase is the perfect time with everything that we have going on right now to want to be more, take up more space, get stronger, and ultimately write a new chapter of my story that I have never accomplished before. And I'm really, really excited to keep documenting that. I won't go into everything that I'm doing right now because this video would get way too long, but I can do full updated vlogs of what my current routine looks like, what I'm eating, how I'm training, etc. And we'll keep going into that in further vlogs, because this is my formal commitment to posting 2 videos a month on this page again. I have never been putting out content at the level that I am right now, because up until now I haven't really had support to be putting out more content. It's been like me deciding that I want to put out more content and then pushing and then getting burnt out or getting sucked into business stuff and saying that it's not a priority. But we have both committed to increasing the amount of content that we're putting out on both short form and long form. So this is my formal commitment, external commitment, that I am actually doing the thing, the hard thing, and seeing it through this year. So what we have coming up, we have another really busy year this year in terms of travel, fun stuff. In about a month, we have our big client event, which is happening in Orlando, and it's so exciting. We have 60 people coming this year, which is so exciting. We're also taking our staff to Aruba on a staff retreat. That is so exciting. That was the goal that we set for, that was the reward that we set for our first 7-figure year, was if we hit that, we're going to take the entire staff on a vacation. So we're going in July, and I cannot wait to experience that with all of our team members, because that's truly so fulfilling. And then we're going to EDC Las Vegas. We're going to Ember Shores. So we have a lot of good work, play. So we have a lot of fun stuff coming up, not just in terms of work, but also in just genuine, fun play stuff too. And ultimately, the goal that I have with this channel from here moving forward is just to document building all of it, but also continue on with the documentation of my health, my journey, my life, and how I am building it all while still. So ultimately, the goal of me reviving this page and bringing it back is to give you guys a behind the scenes of how I do it all in terms of my physique, my marriage, the business, all of it at once, because there was a time when I thought that something had to give when you wanted to build your business to a certain size, or if my body was going to be able to do it, especially with Hashimoto's. And what I've learned is that it's not about removing things from your life, especially when you really have high ambition and you love pushing yourself to new levels. It's about getting creative and working with your body so you find smarter solutions. Because you guys saw it on this channel, I really tried to do the whole balanced wellness girly thing and I made it my whole personality, but ultimately I just felt so lost throughout that because I thought that I had to fit into that box, and that meant that I had to give up being a high achiever and really pushing to bigger and bigger goals. And that led to me just like losing passion for just about everything. When really I love pushing for bigger goals. I love training hard in the gym. I love going hard in business. I love going to festivals, and I'm just not willing to compromise on the life that I want to live. And I'm not willing to compromise my body or my health to do it ever again. So I've gotten pretty good at it up until this point with the different systems and habits and disciplines that I've implemented that I want to let you guys in on. And I'm also committed to continuing to get better because there's always so much more to learn. There's always so much more. There's always so many more tools at our disposal that we can start implementing that are available to us now. And I want to continue sharing that with you because I don't want you to ever feel that you need to decide between your body or your business. I want you to create the life that you want to live. I want you to have it all. I want you to build the business, have the health, have the physique that you have always dreamed of. So I'm going to document how I do it so that it helps you achieve that too. Now, if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe because I will be showing up here twice a month to take you along this journey with me. If there's anything in particular that you want to see from me, let me know, comment down below. And until then, I will see you in the next video.